The night was alive with the hum of engines and the crackle of neon lights spilling across the wet pavement outside a roadside biker bar. Inside, laughter mixed with the clink of beer bottles, the atmosphere rowdy yet alive. But no one expected the moment that would silence the entire bar in a single heartbeat. A woman in a leather jacket, her presence so commanding that heads turned as she walked in, stood at the center. She wasn't just any biker, she was a billionaire, famous for her bold lifestyle and for leading a motorcycle empire built from nothing. She walked with fire in her stride, like someone who owned not just the bar, but the night itself. And then it happened. In the middle of an argument with a quiet stranger who seemed out of place, her hand gripped the front of his faded shirt and ripped it clean down the chest. Gasps shot through the room. But what froze everyone in their tracks wasn't her strength, it was what the torn fabric revealed. Bold ink across the man's chest. The proud, unmistakable tattoo of the United States Marine Corps. The room went silent, the air heavy. Every biker, every drinker, every onlooker turned their eyes to the man who had been sitting quietly at the edge of the crowd. He wasn't just another guy in an old shirt. He was a Marine. And in that single second, the billionaire biker, fierce, untouchable, was the one caught off guard. That man was Jack, a single-dad veteran who never asked the world for sympathy, never demanded respect. He came to the bar only because it was the only place hiring for part-time work that would cover his daughter's medicine. He had no idea he would cross paths with someone like her. Jack carried scars no one could see, nights haunted by battles overseas, days spent working odd jobs just to keep food on the table for his little girl, Emily. And though he never wore his pride on his sleeve, the tattoo told his story for him. A story of sacrifice, honor, and survival. The lady biker, Ava Steele, had built her empire with grit and rebellion. To the world, she was fearless, but what no one saw were the nights she spent alone, hiding wounds left behind by a father who abandoned her and a mother who never believed she could rise. That was why she rode fast, lived louder, and trusted no one. But when her hand tore Jack's shirt and that tattoo appeared, something broke through her armor. She wasn't staring at just a man, she was staring at someone who carried battles deeper than hers, someone who had fought for more than himself. The crowd erupted, cheers, whistles, respect. Marine, someone shouted, raising a glass. But Jack didn't bask in it. He simply stood, calm, quiet, his eyes steady on Ava as if daring her to see past the ink, to the man who just wanted peace. And in that silence, something unexpected sparked. Ava, the billionaire who had everything money could buy, felt something she couldn't explain. Respect, curiosity, and maybe, for the first time in years, humility. Over the following days, Ava couldn't shake the image of that man. She found herself riding by the mechanic shop where Jack worked, watching him fix cars with grease on his hands, yet always pausing to take his daughter's phone call with a smile that melted all the hardness in him. Emily was his world, and Ava saw how much he gave up just to keep her safe and happy. Slowly, she stepped closer to his world, testing his patience with her boldness. But Jack never treated her like the billionaire biker everyone feared. He looked at her like she was just Ava. Yet challenges rose quickly. Ava's world was ruthless, full of people who saw Jack as beneath her, unworthy of her empire, her status. And Jack's world was fragile, his daughter depending on him, his heart cautious after too much loss. When Ava's competitors tried to use Jack's past against him, digging into his Marine record, twisting his pain into weakness, Ava had a choice: walk away to protect her image, or stand with the man who had nothing but his honor. She stood with him, publicly, fiercely. For the first time, Ava Steele, the billionaire biker, put her reputation on the line not for profit but for loyalty. But Jack had his struggles too. He wasn't sure he belonged in her world of power and wealth. More than once, he pushed her away, afraid Emily would get hurt, afraid Ava would leave when things got hard. Yet Ava kept coming back, not with pity but with respect. She reminded him that Marines don't quit, and that fathers who sacrifice everything for their daughters are heroes far greater than the ones people cheer in bars. Their bond grew through fights, through laughter, through nights when Ava sat at Jack's kitchen table eating simple meals she hadn't tasted since childhood, watching Emily braid her hair like family. Ava, who had always ridden fast to escape loneliness, realized she had finally found the home she didn't know she was searching for. And Jack, who thought love had passed him by, realized that maybe, just maybe, he was allowed to start again. The final test came when Ava's empire faced betrayal from within, and Jack, using not just his marine training but his quiet strength, stood by her side. Not as her protector, not as her employee, but as her equal. Together, they fought for trust, for family, and for the belief that love wasn't about status or scars, it was about who stood by you when the world tried to tear you down. By the end, the woman who had once ripped a shirt to expose a tattoo found herself holding the very heart of the man behind it. And the Marine who thought his battles were over found a new mission: to love, to protect, and to live again. So, if this story touched your heart, if you believe love can be found in the most unexpected places, even between a billionaire biker and a single dad veteran, then hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Because stories like this remind us all, no matter how broken we feel, no matter how heavy our past, love has a way of finding us when we least expect it. And when it does, it can freeze the world, just like that tattoo froze the bar.